This comes from our buddies over at Blogging the Boys. They do fine work.
Great
over there.
work.
Congratulations for being real over there. You guys do a heck of a job. 3 players the Dallas Cowboys could potentially use as trade assets. And so here we go. I'm just going to give you their 3 names, and you guys tell me what you think. And then I went back and asked the gang of 7 if they would rank who they would trade for of the 3 names.
Oh, okay, nice. I like that idea.
So I kind of gave him a little. I'm like, okay, this is just a story, and these are 3 names. Put them in order of who you would trade for or who you would like to trade for.
I hope they did the right thing and put Trayvon Diggs on that trade list.
Well, how about this? They've got Jordan Lewis.
Makes sense.
As one of the guys. The next one they got is Dante Fowler.
Okay.
On this list. And then the last one is Dorance Armstrong.
So you got 2 edge rushers and a corner.
2 edge rushers and a corner. Okay.
I think Dorance Armstrong's getting the most in return.
And Fowler's getting the least.
Okay.
I think Lewis gets the least.
Fowler was just a free agent. Anybody could have signed him.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Chief, you rank put them in order of how you would trade for him. How you would, if you had a team, how would you trade for him?
I think I would go Dorance and then Fowler and then Lewis. Because Lewis is coming off the foot injury.
Yes,
That's a legit injury for a corner whose feet are probably the most important body part that he has.
I'm still going with Armstrong, Lewis, and Fowler, and it's really just because we saw what the market was for Fowler, and he was out there for a while. The Cowboys got him back at their price, so I don't think that there's a ton of teams that have the value for him.
Well, once again, the nosebleed guys are wrong, Brian, and I know you were going to tell me your gang of 7 says Jordan Lewis is, in fact, the most valuable player in that because he's capable of starting. The other 2 are pretty good bench guys to help out your pass rush. So I would put Dorance second, and then your guy third.
All right, here we go. All my gang of 7 guys are pretty prominent teams. I'm not messing around here. I'm not.
That steak has me testosterone up.
I told you, bro.
Yeah.
The T levels are going to skyrocket coming out of here.
That's where that take came from. I'm sorry if you caught a stray.
No, I did, but it felt like it was warranted.
I like catching a stray every once in a while.
He's like he's eating with the knife now, not just stabbing it. That's what we're doing here.
You've got the vibe now.
It feels like he got that look in his eye, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's got the eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger, baby. Eye of the tiger.
The fight.
All right, here we go. One of my teams, very prominent team in the league, they went Fowler, Lewis, Armstrong.
Did you ask why they didn't sign Fowler?
That guy's a casual.
He said, he goes,
how about that?
He goes, we don't have any pass rushers with true speed and like to have one. We
could have had him.
This team actually had an interest in Fowler in free agency.
So what happened?
They didn't get him.
Dan Quinn canceled.
Yeah, Cowboys got the hometown discount.
That was
Fowler wants to be here.
Finally, it worked out for
Cowboy
us.
for life, dude.
That was one of the teams right there.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Another one. He goes, this team, prominent team, Armstrong, Lewis, Fowler. And they said Armstrong because they really would like him they think he's a really good outside rusher, third rusher, is what they said for him there. So that would be that. And then this last team, I have 3 guys that answer me back since we've been on the air. I said, okay, once again, give me your guys. Give me these 3 guys. How you would see it would working out here. Okay, I gotta get to my where'd it go? Okay, here we go. They went he went, I'm trying to read my own writing here. Okay, he goes, Fowler, I don't think would have much to him. He says he was just available. Lewis is coming off an injury, like you guys were talking about. And he says Armstrong is affordable. So it's kind of strange now what they've got going here. Everybody's got a different idea about who they want. Me personally, I agree with Dawson. I'd take Lewis, Armstrong, then Fowler.
Wow.
Is what I would.
Turn it on your guy. The biggest
turn
Dorance
on
Armstrong
Dorance,
stand.
yeah. Well, but I appreciate it. That's the honesty there.
I'll tell you this, though, because I think Sam Williams is going to outplay him this year.
For sure.
I think
Right.
Sam
Well, there's
Williams
a reason
is gonna be that guy.
why they're floating out, hey, you have trade bait, you have an abundance of playmakers at one spot. Can you find a way to parlay that into something? And corner as well. I mean, they've got some young guys. Deron Bland stepping up, made Jordan Lewis expendable.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. The position that Jordan Lewis plays, the nickel spot, is a unique position, and most teams probably don't feel great about their nickel corner. So, and it's a hugely important position. So I do understand the position value there. Now we're also talking about edge rushers, obviously an important position as well.
Right.
But Jordan Lewis being a nickel starter for you, if you knew that if he wasn't coming off the injury, there's a very strong argument to be made. He's far and away the best option here,
but
because of the position that he plays.
Yes, they didn't say what the compensation could look like potentially. Like, let's say they moved one of those guys.
I mean, those are all pretty minimal for the most part.
I don't think it's anything that you would have to
day 3 pick.
Well, they're all talking about affordable. You know, the last guy said he's the affordable one.
Yeah, if they're not going to make my roster, I'm going to cut him for cap reasons. I'll take a 5 or I'll take a 6.
Me too. Yeah.
There you go.
I think, maybe there is reputational bias in here for Fowler. While Dorance Armstrong, if you're not watching the Cowboys, you don't get to see him all the time, and you might not have a thought about him. You know, you might have just thought about him from his draft profile, and you kind of look at the stats, and you'd think Fowler because he's got better pedigree, he's got better reputation. But I think Dorance is the better player right now.
He's definitely the better player. He's an all-around player. I mean, that dude can play the run, he can rush the passer, but also special teams-wise, he had some huge plays for you last year.
And for the record, I'm not trading any of these guys, though. If you want to win a championship, you got to be more resilient to injury.
You need the depth. I hear you.
Especially at those key spots. Maybe you can have a young linebacker. Maybe you can have one of my jobber, guards even. But I'm looking to give you draft picks, not anybody that plays a premium spot.
All right. I asked about DeAndre Hopkins. Just got let go, right?
Yes, he did.
We didn't get butt cracked on that one, right?
We did not get butt
real
cracked.
Fact release, but not coming to the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I asked some guys around the league. I said, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins ends up? This one guy goes, man, I don't have any idea. It depends on what he's asking for and who's willing to pay it. Odell Beckham set the marker for wide receivers and didn't play last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins probably wants to be paid regardless, and I don't foresee much wiggle room from wherever he perceives his value to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and that seems
that was a very prominent team told me that one right there.
Well,
and all these guys are prominent. I keep saying that, but I appreciate their honesty about that. All right, you want to comment on that?
Well, it's just crazy the Cardinals cut him. They're taking a $22.6 million dead cap hit. Like, that is a lot of money.
It's a team tank move. They want to make sure
they certainly are tanking.
But it's also like the market was not really there for Hopkins. So for him to command some money, the OBJ contract is a benchmarker. Hopkins is going to want that. Albert Breer's talking about how the Chiefs were granted permission to talk with Hopkins earlier in the offseason, spoke to him before the draft, and contract was the big hurdle.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to come down on his price according to what the Chiefs would want.
Which he said he was willing to do, at least for the Cowboys.
For the Cowboys,
so we'll see if he's willing to do that for some of these other contending teams.
Okay, as we finish this thing up, I got 2 more of these real quick on this. Another team said, he said, they probably won't do it, but I'd say Green Bay could be a good security blanket for Love, was what that team said. And then another team, another guy said, could see Baltimore. He says they like to collect veteran wide receivers. So Baltimore, I mean, even adding
after OBJ,
Odell Beckham, that's kind of something he says.
It would be smart.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah. And then one of my other teams that I asked didn't answer me back. So maybe he's not answering back because maybe they're in it.
I like that idea.
But I can't give up my...
Was the Baltimore guy the same guy that said Fowler was number 1 on his list?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I can't trust that guy.